Ladies and gentlemen, it is our profound honor to announce the arrival of our chief guest, His Excellency Dr. Haribabu Khambhampati, Honorable Governor of Odisha, and he is accompanied by Shri Suryabansi Suraj Sir, Honorable Minister of Higher Education, Sports and Youth Services and Odia Language, Literature and Culture, along with Shri Arvind Agarwal Sir, Commissioner cum Secretary, Higher Education Department, Odisha Government. A hearty welcome on the arrival of our chief guest, His Excellency Dr. Haribabu Khambhampati, Honorable Governor of Odisha. A hearty welcome. Namaste, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with our chief guest, His Excellency Dr. Haribabu Khambhampati, Honorable Governor of Odisha, along with Shri Suryabansi Suraj Sir, Honorable Minister of Higher Education, Sports and Youth Services and Odia Language, Literature and Culture, and Shri Arvind Agarwal Sir, Commissioner cum Secretary, Higher Education Department, Odisha Government. As the sacred tradition of our Republic, we begin our formal proceeding by honoring our national identity and unity. I request the entire Assembly to please stand as we prepare for the national anthem. Now I request the technical team to play it.
Vande
request everyone to please be seated. Now I request Honorable Minister Suryavanshi Suraj sir to offer a token of appreciation to our chief guest, His Excellency Dr. Haribabu Khamampati, Honorable Governor of Odisha. I now request Shri Arvind Agarwal sir, Commissioner cum Secretary, Higher Education Department, Odisha Government, to give a token of appreciation to our Honorable Minister, Suryavanshi Suraj sir. As a token of appreciation, a small memento and a flower bouquet is being presented. Distinguished guests, we begin this momentous afternoon by inviting the architect of this 2 days NEP workshop, Shri Arvind Agarwal sir, the Commissioner cum Secretary of Higher Education Department, who embodies the spirit of administrative excellence and vision. To set the tone for the convention, I now invite Shri Arvind Agarwal sir to deliver the formal welcome address. Please, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. Honorable Governor of Odisha, Honorable Minister for Higher Education, Sports and Youth Services, Shri Suryavanshi Suraj ji, distinguished Vice Chancellors, esteemed dignitaries, resource persons, dear principals and participants. It is my proud privilege and honor to extend a warm welcome to all of you to the valedictory session of this 2 days national level workshop on effective and systematic implementation of the National Education Policy 2020. At the outset, I extend my deepest respects and heartfelt welcome to Honorable Governor of Odisha. Sir, your constant guidance and encouragement have always inspired the higher education ecosystem of our state. I would also like to express our deep sense of gratitude for your visionary decision to appoint 14 Vice Chancellors simultaneously very recently. This landmark step has infused new leadership, stability, momentum into our universities, which enables us to move forward with renewed clarity and purpose. I extend a warm welcome to our Honorable Minister of Higher Education, Shri Suryavanshi Suraj ji. Under your dynamic and proactive leadership, we are steadily advancing towards quality-driven reforms in higher education. Sir, your emphasis on accountability, innovation, and student-centric policies has significantly accelerated the implementation of NEP in our state. I also welcome all the distinguished dignitaries, Vice Chancellors, academicians, principals, and other participants who are present in this August meeting. Sir, though the Odisha had started late, but we had implemented National Education Policy 2020 in August 2024 only. However, in less than 2 years' time, sir, we have implemented the NEP successfully in various aspects in the state of Odisha, which reflects strong administrative commitment and political will. Since August 2024, we have been continuously working dedicatedly towards implementation of all core components of NEP. To begin with, sir, I would like to brief few of the points in this regard. We have operationalized 4-year undergraduate program in line with NEP, which brings flexibility and multidisciplinary learning into our system. The multiple entry and exit system has been implemented through the SEMS portal, which is a unified admission portal for the state, which ensures that no learning goes unrecognized. Further, the academic bank of credits has been made functional, enabling seamless credit transfer and lifelong learning opportunities. We are also working actively towards strengthening our institutions. Notably, 4 leading universities, Berhampur University, Sambalpur University, Revansa University, and Maharaja Sri Ramchandra Bhanj Dev University are being developed as multidisciplinary education and research universities under the PM Usha scheme of Government of India. Recognizing the importance of employability and skilling, we have launched initiatives such as Apprenticeship Embedded Degree Program, integrating academic learning with industry exposures, and more than 2 lakh students across 1,000 institutions are also being engaged in digital skilling programs, which involves artificial intelligence also. To promote innovation and entrepreneurship, the state is actively supporting student-led startups through financial assistance, mentorship, and incubation support. We are also committed to preserving and promoting our rich intellectual heritage. Last year, we have sanctioned 5 crore rupees to different universities for development of curriculum and digital repositories on Indian knowledge system, strengthening our knowledge traditions. It will help universities to develop their curriculum and also a knowledge base which largely depends on Indian knowledge system. Sir, yesterday, under the visionary leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister, a comprehensive internship program was also being launched, which provides students with practical and hands-on exposure and gives them a practical exposure to the real-life situations. Alongside, the Shakti Sri mobile application was also being launched yesterday, which will help students, girls students for their empowerment, not only psychologically, physically, financially, but also digitally. It ensures their holistic development. Sir, over the last 2 days, this workshop has generated extremely valuable insights and constructive suggestions. Key deliberations have focused on structured implementation of the Indian knowledge system, organizational restructuring of institutions, 360-degree assessment frameworks, effective implementation of credit frameworks, leveraging technology for NEP execution, strengthening academic bank of credits. These discussions have enriched our perspective and provided a clear roadmap for the future. Sir, we assure you that all the valuable suggestions will be carefully examined and appropriate actions will be undertaken. Our goal is to make Odisha's higher education system truly data-driven, future-ready, and globally competitive. In conclusion, I am confident that with the continued guidance of our Honorable Governor, sir, the dynamic leadership of our Honorable Minister, and the collective efforts of all stakeholders, Odisha will emerge as a model state in effective implementation of NEP 2020. Once again, I extend my sincere gratitude to all the dignitaries and participants for their valuable presence and extend my heartfelt welcome to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for insightful and warm welcome. To provide us with the intellectual blueprint of the past 2 days of deliberations of NEP 2020 titled Pragya Prerana, we have among us Professor Srirup Goswami from the Department of Geology, Utkal University, a scientist by training and an academician by heart. Professor Goswami's report will bridge our glorious past with the innovation future of Indian education. I now invite him to present the 2-day report on NEP. Please, sir.
Honorable Governor of Odisha, His Excellency Dr. Haribabu Kambhampati, Honorable Minister, Higher Education, Government of Odisha, Sri Suryavanshi Surajji, Revered Sri Aravind Agrawal, Commissioner cum Secretary to Higher Education Department, Government of Odisha, distinguished dignitaries, respected resource persons, esteemed Vice Chancellors, academicians, and venerable erudite participants. I offer humble obeisance to one and all present here. बरेण्य महामहिमा कुलाधिपति को मु नमन करुछि, वंदन करुछि, अभिनंदन करुछि एवं मंचस्थ और सभास्थ समस्त प्रज्ञान मंडली को मु मो हृदय कंदरु सश्रद्ध सभक्ति सादर प्रीतिभरा मधुझरा मैत्रीबला ममतापूर्ण भक्तिगद्गद प्रणाम प्रणिपात निवेदन करुछि. At the outset, let me recite a stanza from Rigved. Ana bhadraha kartavayant viswatah. Let all the noble thoughts come to us from every side. हर कोने से महतर चिंतन हम लोगों को स्पर्श करे. समस्त कोण अनुकोणरू महतर चिंतन आम आड़को अनुधावित हो आमको स्पर्श करू. With this objective in mind, we gathered here and we have succeeded. It is both a privilege and honor to present the valedictory report of this 2-day national workshop, effective and proper implementation of NEP 2020 and higher education reforms in Odisha, Pragya Prerana. Organized under the aegis of Higher Education Department, Government of Odisha, this workshop emerged as a significant platform where policy converged with practice, vision aligned with execution, strategy harmonized with implementation, ideas fused with innovation, intent translated into impact, and collective deliberation shaped a transformative roadmap for higher education in India. प्रज्ञा प्रेरणा कर्मशाला र सफलता एक अपूर्व अभूतपूर्व पूर्णता लाभ करिछि एही परिप्रेक्षीरे मु सदस्य परिषदर एक श्लोक एठी आवृत्ति करी उचित मने करूछि ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. The inaugural session set the tone of purposeful deliberations. In his welcome address, Sri Arvinda Agarwal ji, Commissioner cum Secretary Higher Education Department, emphasized Odisha's firm commitment to fully implementing National Education Policy 2020 through systematic reforms in curriculum, governance, and digital transformation and student empowerment. Honorable Minister of Higher Education, Government of Odisha, Sri Suryavanshi Suraj ji, highlighted the major achievements of the Higher Education Department, including implementation of 4-year undergraduate program, academic bank of credits, creation of 7.32 lakh APAR IDs, expansion of higher education infrastructure, research funding through MRIP, and strong digital governance ecosystems. Honorable Union Education Minister Sri Dharmendra Pradhan ji expressed concern that Odisha's gross enrollment ratio stands at 23%, 6% below the national average of 29%, calling for urgent efforts toward inclusivity and access. He emphasized building an aspirational workforce driven by skills, innovation, and employability. A landmark moment was the release of the booklet on internship and community service guidelines and the launch of Shakti Sri mobile app. In his inspiring address, the Honorable Chief Minister of Odisha, Sri Dr. Mohan Charan Majhi ji, reaffirmed the government's commitment by announcing that a substantial share of the state GDP has been allocated to higher education, reflecting Odisha's determination to emerge as a national leader in education. The opening technical presentations led by Professor Atan Kumar Pati sir provided valuable insights into the current institutional landscape, highlighting achievements in accreditation, infrastructure development, and the transition towards multidisciplinary education. Similarly, esteemed Vice Chancellor of 5 universities presented the status report with regard to implementation of NEP 2020 in their respective universities. The thematic session of Indian knowledge system delivered by Dr. Atul Kothari ji emphasized integrating indigenous knowledge traditions into mainstream curricula to build an education system that is culturally rooted yet globally responsive. He advocated deriving an Odisha knowledge system from the state's rich civilization heritage. Professor Kailash Chandra Sharma ji elaborated on translating the vision of NEP 2020 into institutional practice through flexibility, interdisciplinarity, and the outcome-based pedagogy. He highlighted that successful implementation depends on committed institutional leadership and academic innovation. The session led by Professor Srinivasa Bharakhedi and Professor Pankaj Mittalji focused on institutional restructuring, advocating multidisciplinary universities, academic integration, and institutional autonomy as essential for dismantling rigid disciplinary silos and fostering innovations. In the session on academic bank of credit, optimal learning and environments, Professor Alok Kumar Chakrawal and Professor Prafulla Kumar Misra highlighted the transformative role of flexible credit system, learner mobility, and holistic campus ecosystem that nurtured intellectual growth, ethical grounding, and personal development. On the second day, Professor Khuti Bhushan Das sir and Professor Rabindra Kanhare elucidated the National Higher Education Qualification Framework and Learning Outcomes-Based Curriculum Framework, highlighting their role in creating a structured, outcome-driven academic system. They emphasized level-based competencies, curriculum coherence, measurable learning outcomes, enabling a shift towards credit-based, student-centric, and globally aligned education. The discourse on technology integration and faculty readiness, led by Professor Karthik Raman and Professor Amiya Kumarath, highlighted that technology alone cannot transform education unless complemented by empowered and capable faculty. They highlighted blended learning, AI-driven education system, digital assessment platforms, and continuous faculty development as essential pillars. Further, Professor Bhimarai Matriji and Professor Syama Ratha Madam addressed the governance, leadership, and resourcing, emphasizing transparent administration, data-driven decision-making, and strategic institutional management as critical to sustaining academic excellence. Please allow me to articulate a constellation of strategic recommendations, one by one, for higher education institutions of Odisha, distilled from a rich deliberations and intellectual engagements of this workshop. Mapping and benchmarking with domestic peers that have successfully implemented National Education Policy 2020, ensuring alignment with UGC and Indian knowledge system guidelines and initiatives. Higher education institutions will integrate regional priorities through key disciplines: climate science, energy studies, renewable energy engineering, material science, mineral resource management, including critical minerals, data science and geospatial analytics, marine science, agricultural and sustainability sciences, etc., while promoting multidisciplinary, skill-based, and research-oriented education in alignment with the National Education Policy 2020. The government and institution will integrate Odisha knowledge system with Indian knowledge system, drawing from the heritage of Konark Sun Temple and Jagannath Temple, and enriched by the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavat Purana, Ashtadasa Purana, and Gita Govinda. This will emphasize ethical values and ecological harmony while promoting conservation of both tangible and intangible cultural heritage, ensuring a balance between tradition and global relevance. The immediate target of gross enrollment ratio will be enhanced to the national level, that is 29%, within a stipulated time frame of 5 years. The government of HEIs will expand access by targeting gross enrollment ratio from 23 to 50% by 2036 through institutional expansion. Digital platforms, flexible pathways, and strengthening ODL and hybrid learning models for inclusive outreach. Universities and government will establish more centers of excellence in emerging technology with a clear target of fostering cutting-edge translational research. Within a defined 5-year horizon, the initiative aims to significantly enhance the high-impact publications, generate patents and other forms of intellectual property rights, promote industry-linked and externally funded research projects, and incubate innovation-driven startups. Higher education institutions will institutionalize internship embedded degree programs and strengthen industry-academia collaboration for internship, curriculum co-design, placements, and future-ready skills such as AI, data science, green technology, and digital economy competencies. Institutions will implement continuous professional development, promote faculty exchange, collaborative research, and build academic leadership capacity through structured governance and performance-based systems. Workshops should be conducted for intensive discussion on LOCF by the universities that will include appropriate pedagogy and training, evaluation, and assessment as prescribed in the LOCF document by UGC. The government and HEIs will develop a statewide digital ecosystem with virtual labs, e-content, and AI-enabled platforms, while strengthening systems such as SAMS, HIMS, SOYAM, and Samartha, ensuring universal ICT access and connectivity. The State Higher Education Department is taking an initiative to set up one e-governance system, that is ERP system, for all HEIs of the state. Institution will establish student support centers, integrate internships, community engagement, sports and cultural activities into credit frameworks, and promote entrepreneurship, innovation, and startups ecosystem within the campus. Universities and government will create creative economic laboratories, link higher education with arts, heritage, tourism, cultural entrepreneurship to generate sustainable livelihood and opportunities. The government and HEIs will ensure financial accessibility through scholarship, loans, and fee waivers, strengthen inclusion for marginalized communities, and promote multilingual education for both local grounding and global engagement. HEIs will ensure no student is deprived of education due to financial constraint through national and state initiatives leveraging PM Vidya Lakshmi and many more schemes. Institutions will adopt data-driven governance, strengthen quality assurance and accreditation mechanism, and promote institutional autonomy with accountability and outcome-based evaluation. The HEIs will expand global partnership, joint research, and student exchange programs, improve rankings such as National Institutional Ranking Framework, and attract international students and faculty. Universities will establish LOCF committees, conduct regular faculty training, promote digital learning including SWAYAM, develop bilingual resources, introduce foreign languages namely Korean, Japanese, French, German, Russian, etc. and industry-linked skill courses, strengthen mentorship and support system. The workshop outline a phased strategy for Odisha higher education transformation. The immediate priority is curriculum alignment, faculty strengthening, and digital infrastructure. The medium-term focus should be on multidisciplinary institutional expansion, stronger research collaboration, and governance reforms. In the long term, Odisha must strive to enhance gross enrollment ratio, build globally competitive universities, and establish a vibrant knowledge economy driven by research, innovation, tourism, blue economy, orange economy, and infrastructure-led growth. The workshop has reformed that NEP 2020 is not merely a policy reform, but a historic opportunity to reimagine, to redefine higher education. It heralds a graceful transition from rigidity to responsiveness, from fragmentation to fluid integration, from mere information dissemination to vibrant cultivation of holistic knowledge. It envisions a journey where structure yields to flexibility, silos dissolve into synergy, learning evolves into harmonious confluence of wisdom, creativity, and purpose. The deliberations of these 2 days have clarified the pathway ahead and instilled a collective resolve to act with urgency, commitment, and vision. In this collective confluence of intellect and intent, we now advance with renewed resolve and resonant purpose to shape a higher education ecosystem for Odisha that is inclusive yet inspiring, innovative yet impactful, aspirational yet achievable, and firmly poised on the path of global excellence and enduring relevance. Sesare Montarara Antyam Pradesharu Ananta Amruta Saswata Bani Bharanatya Upanishaduru Nisruta Hue Sarve Hontu Sukiraha Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pasyantu Ma Kaschid Dukhvagvapet. May all become happy, may no one suffer, may all see what is auspicious, may all be free from illness. Ongasatama Sadgamaya, Tamasama Tirgamaya, Murtirmanga Murtangamaya. O my Lord God, lead us from ignorance to truth. O my Lord God, lead us from darkness to light. O my Lord God, lead us from limitation to excellence. Vande Utkala Janani, Vande Mataram.
Dhanyavad Professor Goswami for providing a complete distillation of the last 48 hours. नक्शा बिना दूरदृष्टि केवल एक स्वप्न सदृश किंतु सुचिंतित योजना सह दूरदृष्टि विश्व परिवर्तन करिवार शक्ति रखे आधुनिक ओडिशार गतिशील शक्तिर प्रतीक भावे परिचित जड़े जननायक को आमंत्रण करी मो निजको गौरवान्वित मन करुछि से हेउचंती युवपीढ़ी आदर्श तथा उच्च शिक्षा विभाग क्रीड़ा और युव सेवा विभाग एवं ओडिया भाषा साहित्य और संस्कृति विभागर मान्यवर मंत्री श्रीयुक्त सूर्यवंशी सूरज महोदय जी की परंपरा और परिवर्तन मध्य एक सेतु सदृश I humbly invite Shri Suryavanshi Suraj sir to present the recommendations and future action plan. Please, sir.
जय जगन्नाथ समस्त को नमस्कार मंचरे उपस्थित आम मानकर मार्गदर्शक माननीय राज्यपाल कुलाधिपति डॉक्टर हरिबाबू कंभमपाटी महोदय उपस्थित अच्छन्ति आम विभागर सचिव तथा विभाग रे संस्कार आनिबा को जे सतत चेष्टा करुछन्ति श्रीयुक्त अरविंद अग्रवाल महाशय मंच सम्मुखरे उपस्थित थिबा ओडिशार तथा भारतवर्षर विभिन्न वरेण्य शिक्षानुरागी ओडिशार प्राय समस्त उच्च शिक्षा विभाग रे जो विश्वविद्यालय गुड़िक रही कुलपतिगण विभिन्न उच्च शिक्षा अधीन उच्च शिक्षा विभाग अधीन विभिन्न शिक्षानुष्ठान मानकर अध्यक्ष अध्यक्षा समस्त वरिष्ठ अधिकारी आम विभाग समस्त अधिकारी कर्मचारी मीडियार बंधु तथा ओडिशा रे उच्च शिक्षा विभाग को गोटे शीर्ष सोपान को नवापाई जो मानक मनरे संकल्प अच्छी जो मानक मनरे सेतिपाई प्रतिश्रुति अच्छी समस्त को आज प्रज्ञा प्रेरणार समापन समय आउ थे कृतज्ञता ज्ञापन करुछि आपण मानकर प्रयास आपण मानकर उपस्थिति एवं आज तो ये कार्यक्रम शेष होउछि किंतु मु विश्वास करे प्रत्येक अंत गोटे नुआ आरंभ करबा पई संकल्प करा जाय थाए एवं आज ये कार्यक्रम को आमे शेष करूछंती अंतिम पर्याय रे माननीय राज्यपाल महोदयंकर दिग्दर्शन रहिबो किंतु ए कार्यक्रम जो लक्ष्य उद्देश्य को लेकिन आरंभ होइतिला ताहा शेष हेउ नाही ताहाकु आमे विश्वविद्यालय स्तर को नबा पई यथेष्ट संकल्पबद्ध अछंती जो भली ए गोटे वर्कशॉप ए गोटे कर्मशाला बा प्रथम प्रारंभिक भाव में मुझे गोटे चिंतन शिविर एथरे राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति 2020 क्रियान्वयन संपर्क में अनेक मानस मंथन होइछि सारा भारत वर्षरु अनेक विज्ञ व्यक्तित्व सेमानंकर मत व्यक्त करिसंती तेणु एथिरु जो निष्कर्ष बाहरुछि ए निष्कर्ष ए सारांश जदि ए गृह भितर केवल रहीजिवो ताहले आम लक्ष्य उद्देश्य सार्थक हेबो नाही आमको विश्वविद्यालय स्तर को नेकी विश्वविद्यालय स्तर रे जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट्स कॉलेजेस माने अछंती बा हायर एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूशंस माने अछंती सेमानंक प्रतिनिधि मानंकु सेठाकु अपेक्षित करा जाई सेमानंकु सेठारे मध्य मार्गदर्शन देबाकु पड़िबो ए आजी राजधानी रु आरंभ होइछि एहाकु सुदूर ओडिशार कोण अनुकोण रे थिबा उच्च शिक्षा विभाग रो अनुष्ठान पाखकु पहुंचैबाकु पड़िबो आमे भारतीय ज्ञान परंपरार कथा कहिसंती इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम संपर्क रे अनेक अवतारणा एठी रखा जाइछि किंतु ए इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम आपण मानक करिकुलम भितरे गोटे केवल सामान्य वर्टिकल भाव रे ताहाकु ग्रहण न करा जाऊ इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम को आपणक करिकुलम भितरे गोटे हॉराइजॉन्टल व्यवस्था भाव रे ग्रहण करा जाऊ प्रत्येक विषय रे लॉ रे आमे आईकेएस पढुचंती पढ़िबार आवश्यकता अच्छी आमे विज्ञान रे गोटे संस्कृत को आमे भाषा बोली ग्रहण करुछंती भाषा भाव रे शिक्षादान करा जाउछ ना ताहा हेले संस्कृत को ग्रहण करिबार आभिमुख्य हमर सार्थक हेबो नै संस्कृत रे दर्शन कौन अच्छी ताहा जानिबा पई संस्कृत पढ़िबा पड़िबो संस्कृत रे विज्ञान कौन अच्छी संस्कृत न्याय संपर्क रे कौन कहिछि संस्कृत जियोलॉजी रे कौन कहिछि बटनी रे संस्कृत रे कौन कहा जाइछि ये सब व्यवस्था को जेते बेले आमे गोटे प्लेटफॉर्म को आनी परिबा तेबे जाइंकी आईकेएस सबु विभाग भितरे किछि ना किछि तार प्रेजेंस तार उपस्थिति जाहिर करि परिबो ये मोर समस्त को गोटे निवेदन रहिबो आज मु निजे दुईटी सत्र रे उपस्थित थाई कि देखुतली एआई संपर्क रे अनेक अवतारणा एठी करा जाइछि आमे चेष्टा करि परिबा कि प्रत्येक विभाग रे एआई संपर्कित सहयोग पाई जने विभाग रा डोमेन एक्सपर्ट रहिबे आ जने एआई एक्सपर्ट रहंतु उभयंक समन्वय रे उभय सम्मिलित है कि से विभाग रे एआई केउ भली भाव रे काम करि परिबो गोटे क्लस्टरल अप्रोच आम मान को ग्रहण करबा पड़िबो गोटे अंचल विशेष रे पूर्व प्रांत हेउ पश्चिम प्रांत हेउ दक्षिण प्रांत हेउ ओडिशार मध्य प्रांत हेउ जेते यूनिवर्सिटी 2टी 4टी 5टी यूनिवर्सिटी मिसिकी गोटे क्लस्टर करिवे ए 5टी यूनिवर्सिटी मिसिकी परिकल्पना करिवे आमे गोटे क्वांटम कंप्यूटर स्थापन करिबा एवं आमे समस्त ये 4टी यूनिवर्सिटी 5टी यूनिवर्सिटी एहा को व्यवहार करिबा ए प्रकार अप्रोच ए प्रकार दृष्टिभंगी आम मानन को नबा को पड़िबो मु प्रथम रु कहिथिली आज मध्य कहूची आमे एनईपी राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीतिर क्रियान्वयन करबा को हेले आमको 4टी स्तंभ उपरे सर्वाधिक गुरुत्व देबा पड़िबो प्रथम स्तंभ आम करिकुलम आम पाठ्यक्रम ए पाठ्यक्रम को एनईपी सहित समन्वय करबा पड़िबो एनईपी अलाइन्ड पाठ्यक्रम ए संपर्क रे निश्चित भाव रे जो अध्यक्ष माने अछंती कुलपति माने अछंती से माने गुरुत्व प्रदान करिवे जदि फिजिक्स गोटे मेजर हेउछि ताले से पिलाटी माइनर रे कोन पई ओडिसी नृत्य को नहीं न पारिबो ए प्रकार व्यवस्था बा केमिति ओडिसी नृत्य को सुगमतार सहित नहीं पारिबो ए प्रकार व्यवस्था एवं ए प्रकार फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी आम मानक करिकुलम रे सृष्टि करबा को पड़िबो। प्रत्येक विश्वविद्यालय हेउ बा प्रमुख शिक्षानुष्ठान गुड़िक हेउ सेथिरे लैंग्वेज लैब स्थापन आमे करि परिबा। एनईपी सर्वाधिक गुरुत्व प्रदान करछि मातृभाषा रे पाठ्यक्रम प्रदान करबा पई। केवल सेतिक नुहे द्वितीय स्तंभ टीचर्स मानकर कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग ये टीचर्स मानकर कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग पई राष्ट्रीय स्तर रे मालव्य मिशन ठारू आरंभ करी आमर जो कर्मयोगी पोर्टाल रही ताहार मध्य केभली भाव में आमे उपयोग करि परिबा सेथिरे मध्य एनईपी रो सार्थकता ता उपरे निर्भर करुछि। इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पई पीएम उषा ठारू आरंभ करी राज्यर निजस्व बजेट रे मध्य अनेक अर्थर प्रावधान करा जाउछि। आगामी दिन मानकरे जेतेबेले आमे मल्टी डायमेंशनल शिक्षानुष्ठान रो स्वप्न देखुचंती एबे ठारू मोर समस्त को अनुरोध रहिबो समस्ते निज निज शिक्षानुष्ठान रो आईडीपी प्रस्तुत करंतु। निज निज शिक्षानुष्ठान 10 वर्ष परे 15 वर्ष परे केउ स्थान रे पहुंची थिबो सेठी केउ कोर्स खोला जाई थिबो आज दिनरु इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पाई आमकु सेथिरे पुंजी निवेश करबा को पड़िबो। एवं सर्वशेष रे चतुर्थ स्तंभ लर्निंग आउटकम आमे जो पिला माननकु पढ़ौछंती से पिला मानन आगामी दिन मानकरे कोन करिवे तांकु जेतेबेले आमे समाज को प्रदान करुछंती पाखरे आमे 3 वर्ष रखुछंती 5 वर्ष रखुछंती तापरे समाज को प्रदान करुछंती केवल गोटिए सर्टिफिकेट दे दे कि आम कर्तव्य सरीगला बोली भाबिबा नाही सेमानंकर हैंड होल्डिंग करबा को पड़िबो। केवल सेतिक नुहे विश्वविद्यालय माने मध्य निज कन्स्टिट्यूएंट कॉलेज मानंकर हैंड होल्डिंग करबा को पड़िबो। गोटे मेंटरशिप को गोटे मिशन भाव में ग्रहण करबा को पड़िबो कारण आपण माने जेते जण एठी उपस्थित अछंती मु काहाकू केवल जड़े जड़े शिक्षाविद बोली देखु नाही मु समस्त को जड़े जड़े शैक्षिक नेतृत्व बोली भावुछि। एवं शैक्षिक नेतृत्व माने जेते बेले चाहिबे ए सभागार रे जेते जण बसिछंती ए सभागार रे जेतिकी बौद्धिकता अछि ए बौद्धिकता आसंता 2036 पर्यंत ओडिसा को आवश्यकता रहिछि। आमे पाखा पाखी ये 10 वर्ष भितरे 30 रु 40 लाख पिलांक सहित परोक्ष हेउबा प्रत्यक्ष संस्पर्श रे आसीबा। तेणु जदि 50 लाख ओडिया को 50 लाख नुआ ओडिया को युव ओडिया को तैयारी करिवार सौभाग्य आम मानक पाखरे रहउछि तेणु जदि आमे पारस्परिक विश्वासनीयता सृष्टि न करिबा इंस्टीट्यूशन भितरे केवल आमर सचिव कार्य करुथिबे केवल आमर अधिकारी माने कार्य करुथिबे केवल कुलपति माने कार्य करुथिबे केवल सीनियर स्टाफ माने कार्य करुथिबे अध्यक्ष माने कार्य करुथिबे एमिति आमे आम लक्ष्य पूरण करि परिबा नाही। आमको गोटे इंस्टीट्यूशन को गोटे टीम भाव रे विश्वास करबा को पड़िबो। आम विभाग को गोटे टीम भाव रे आमको विश्वास करबा को पड़िबो। एवं एठारे गोटे वर्क कल्चर दीर्घ दिन धरी गतकाली जेतेबेले केंद्र शिक्षा मंत्री कहूतले जे जातीय हार ठारू आमे 6% पछरे अछंती जीआर रे निश्चित भाव रे आम पई गोटे आह्वान सृष्टि करूछ। तेणु ए परिस्थिति रे आमको चिंता करबा को पड़िबो आम शक्ति कोन आम दुर्बलता कौन आम पाखरे आह्वान कौन अच्छी आम पाखरे अवसर कौन अच्छी ये सब को चिंता करिकी मोर यथेष्ट विश्वास आपण मानक उपरे अच्छी गोटे व्यवस्था को आम नॉलेज बेस्ड इकोनॉमी रो कथा कहउछंती भारत विश्वगुरु रे परिणत हेबो ए कथा को उच्चारण करूछंती किंतु आचरण रे मध्य आम माने कार्य करिवार आवश्यकता अछि। तेणु उच्च शिक्षा विभाग रे जेतेटी शिक्षानुष्ठान अछि ये गोटे गोटे मनीष व्यक्तित्व गढ़िबार व्यवस्था पाखरे रखिचंती एवं तार चाबिकाठी आपण मानक हाथ रे दिया जाइछि। तेणु आपण माने जेते संभव पारिबे परिश्रम तो निश्चित भाव में करुछंती किंतु समस्त को नेकी विश्वास सहित परिश्रम करवा समस्त को नेकी विश्वास सहित गोटे समर्पित भावना रे ए राज्य को उत्थान करबा पई ए माटी को परिचित नूतन परिचय प्रदान करबा पई जहाँ आमर हृत होइछि जहाँ आमर लुप्त होइछि जहाँ आमर गत होइछि ताहाकू वर्तमान रे आनिबा भविष्यत रे निजर स्वतंत्र परिचय सृष्टि करबा पई ए कर्मशाला गोटे स्वतंत्र रणनीति बा चिंतन शिविर रे परिणत होइछि एथिपाई समस्तଙ୍କୁ ମୋ तरफରୁ ଯଥେଷ୍ଟ धन्यवाद कृतज्ञता वंदे उत्कल जननी भारत माता की जय वंदे मातरम।
धन्यवाद धन्यवाद मान्यवर मंत्री महोदय आपण प्रदर्शित करिथिबा मार्गदर्शिका पाई आमे आपणक निकटरे गभीर भावे कृतज्ञ। The National Education Policy 2020 is the heaven of freedom and it is the sankalp that will lead to Siddhi. Now we have arrived at the most anticipated moment of our evening, the address by our chief guest. As the constitutional head of our state and the chancellor of our university, sir, your guidance is the ultimate compass of our academic fraternity. It is our distinct privilege to be addressed by our chief guest, His Excellency Dr. Haribabu Kambhampati, the Honorable Governor of Odisha. Most respectfully, I invite him. Sir, please.
Honorable Minister of Higher Education, Sports and Youth Services, Odia Language, Literature and Culture, Shri Suryavamshi Surajji, Commissioner cum Secretary, Higher Education Department, Shri Arvind Agarwalji, esteemed Vice Chancellors, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. It is a matter of great pleasure and immense pride for me to be here today at this national level workshop on implementation of National Education Policy 2020 and higher education reforms in Odisha. This gathering is not merely a formal occasion, it is a timely and visionary step towards shaping a future-ready, knowledge-driven India. This initiative reflects our collective commitment to strengthening education as the foundation of national progress and human development. Ladies and gentlemen, India has always been a land of knowledge, wisdom, and intellectual leadership. Since the dawn of civilization, when many parts of the world were still grappling with basic survival, our nation had already embarked on a journey of intellectual enlightenment. We gifted the concept of zero to the world, pioneered advancements in astronomy, medicine, and mathematics, and created timeless literary treasures like the Vedas, Upanishads, and epics such as the Ramayana and Mahabharata. Even in our ancient texts, we find remarkable imagination and scientific temperament. The description of the Pushpaka Vimana in the Ramayana reflects a vision of aeroplane centuries before modern aviation. I think such examples are many in our epics. We have West Asia War. On the very first day, the missiles of US and Israel have directly hit the target and killed Khamenei of Iran, who is the supreme leader of Iran. We used to read the epics, Mahabharata and Ramayana. We know that there are some astras, Brahmastra, Vishnu Chakra, Pashupatastra, and in those days they used to say that if the astra is being used, it will find the enemy wherever he is and it will kill. Therefore, those astras resembles the present day of the guided missiles. But in those days, we don't know what is the scientific background behind Astras. That is why we are not able to relink. Similarly, I can quote another one or two examples. The Rishis, Munis, who perform tapasya in Himalayas, they will be having a divine power to visualize the happenings anywhere on the earth with their Divya Shakti. But we don't know how it is possible in those days. Today, we are able to see, witness the cricket matches being played all over the world, wherever they play, while happily sitting in our drawing rooms and seeing the television. Therefore, their Divya Shakti is nothing but the satellite TV channels of today. Similarly, we know the story of Pravarakya. He used to apply some herbs on the sole of the foot, and he can fly wherever he wants to go. If that layer of herbs goes, he will lose that power. That is the story of Pravarakya we have read. Why I am mentioning about this? When we are finding the scientific basis of some issues mentioned in our epics, which are having relevant scientific evidences for those things, I don't know, after 300 years or 400 years, we may be having that lehium to be applied on our foot, and we can fly and go to any place wherever we want. I don't know. Therefore, it creates an opinion in my mind that these epics are the real source of the identification of research issues. When they were mentioning that, instead of putting them aside like stories, if we have the power to analyze it and try to understand it, try to link to the scientific equations, whether it is possible to explain in a proper direction and find out some instruments which are being useful for the society in the coming days. Therefore, I have my opinion about these epics that they might be the source of the research topics for many of the subjects. Such examples remind us that the spirit of inquiry, innovation, and creativity has always been embedded in our civilization. Education for us was never just about acquiring knowledge. It was about creating a harmonious, balanced, and enlightened society. This rich legacy continues to inspire us even today. The knowledge economy demands not only information, but also critical thinking, creativity, adaptability, and interdisciplinary learning. However, the world we live in today is changing at an unprecedented pace. New disciplines such as artificial intelligence, data science, biotechnology, climate studies, and digital innovation are reshaping the global landscape. In this context, the National Education Policy 2020 emerges as a visionary and transformative framework. It rightly emphasizes moving away from rote learning towards critical thinking, experiential learning, and holistic development. It recognizes the need to bridge the gap between existing learning outcomes and future requirements and aims to create an education system that is flexible, inclusive, and multidisciplinary and aligned with the needs of the 21st century. It is important to recognize that the successful implementation of NEP 2020 is not just an educational reform, it is a foundational pillar for realizing the vision of Vikasit Odisha by 2036 and Vikasit Bharat by 2047. A strong, inclusive, and future-ready education system will be the driving force behind economic growth, social progress, and global leadership. NEP 2020 provides the roadmap to harness the demographic dividend of our nation and transform it into a knowledge-driven powerhouse. I would like to commend the visionary leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, and the dedicated efforts of the Honorable Union Education Minister, Shri Dharmendra Pradhan ji, for bringing forward such a comprehensive and forward-looking policy that seeks to transform India into a global knowledge superpower. At the state level, I also take this opportunity to appreciate the proactive and committed leadership of the Honorable Chief Minister of Odisha, Shri Mohan Charan Majhi ji, and our Education Minister, Shri Suryavamshi Suraj ji, for taking concrete and decisive steps towards implementing NEP 2020 in the state. Odisha has demonstrated remarkable dedication by initiating the implementation of NEP from August 2024 and aligning curricula with multidisciplinary and skill-based frameworks. I can understand if you want to integrate skill training in the regular curricula, many of our higher educational institutes are not prepared for that. They don't have the facilities to give training in skills. Therefore, it is a Herculean task to find a way out how we can integrate skill training in our regular curriculum. The enactment of the Odisha Universities Amendment Act and the University Teacher Cadre Reservation Act reflects the state's commitment to transparency, accountability, and inclusive growth. The provision of reservation for socially and educationally backward communities has further strengthened equity in the society. The state has also made significant progress in promoting skill-based education and employability. Even though the higher educational institutes do not have any basic infrastructure for skill training, but Odisha is known for its skill development centers, such as World Skill Center, Skill Development Institute, set up by the oil marketing companies, and also some of the universities have very good skill development centers. we have to find a way out how we can expand this skill training to all other higher educational institutions. Collaborations with reputed organizations have enabled thousands of students to gain industry relevant skills in emerging domains. Odisha's strong research ecosystem, supported by universities, centers of excellence, and innovation initiatives, is fostering a culture of creativity, entrepreneurship, and knowledge creation. Friends, the National Education Policy 2020 brings several key reforms in higher education that is both timely and transformative. It promotes multidisciplinary education, flexibility in subject choices, and integration of vocational and academic streams. It emphasizes research and innovation through initiatives like the National Research Foundation. It also calls for the use of technology, promotion of Indian languages, and creation of globally competitive institutions. Most importantly, NEP 2020 places strong emphasis on skill development, entrepreneurship, and employability. It recognizes that education must prepare our youth not just to seek jobs, but to create opportunities to innovate and to lead. By integrating vocational education, internships, and industry collaboration, the policy ensures that our students are equipped with practical knowledge and real-world skills. In 2020, the entire world, including our country, faced the COVID crisis. We are all aware how the COVID crisis have accelerated the development of digitalization processes. It gave a lot of opportunities. You heard one of the speeches in the parliament by some of the MPs. When people are talking about digitalization, they were mentioning that how India can embrace digitalization when people are illiterate, how they can operate computers or smartphones. Country is not having electricity, then how you think that digitalization will go on in this country? But the people of India, particularly the rural people, have proved that Indian people have the capacity to understand technology, to implement and to use it. And now we can find a small businessman on the roadside, they are displaying the QR codes for taking the money. Therefore, the opportunity given in the COVID crisis, people have embraced it, and now we can say that India is totally digital literate. It also offered a lot of opportunity for development of e-commerce platforms like Swiggy, like Zomato, Zepto, and many of the startups have become unicorns. We never imagined that we will get all our things to our house by somebody. For everything, we used to go out and purchase. But today, nobody is going out. They're all ordering online. This is the change we got in COVID times. Now also the country faces a crisis in the form of West Asia war. The major crisis we are facing is about the scarcity of crude oil, the scarcity of LPG, the scarcity of LNG, mainly petroleum products. Therefore, the West Asia war crisis also is going to give lot of opportunities for India. Number one opportunity I find, everybody has to think nowadays how the dependence of India on crude can be reduced. Why we should depend on crude oil? Importing 85% of our requirements, spending about 22 lakh crores of rupees, foreign exchange. We are importing crude oil. I think today the opportunity available for everybody is to change all your fossil fuel run vehicles into EVs, electric vehicles. Then you can reduce this usage of crude oil. Then the question comes, when we use EVs, how about power supply? Power supply solution is, you have abundant solar energy, you can switch over or generate solar power on your houses. Every house can become the generator of solar power by installing the rooftop structures. Honorable Prime Minister is a visionary and implementing a scheme. PM Suryagar Bijli Yojana. Under that, particularly in Odisha, you have a lot of opportunities because in addition to the subsidy given by Government of India, if you take for example 3 kilowatts rooftop solar, Government of India gives a subsidy of 78,000. In addition to the subsidy given by Government of India, Government of Odisha is providing 60,000 rupees subsidy for 3 kilowatt system. It is nowhere in the country, the state government giving such a subsidy. Therefore, I don't know how many people are using that and trying to install rooftop solar systems on their homes. My suggestion to all the universities, you have to adopt 1 or 2 or 3 villages in your area and explain, create awareness about having rooftop solar systems and motivate them to have 100% houses having solar power. I think nowadays universities cannot be away from what the society needs, what the country needs, what the government motivates and promotes. I think it is our responsibility to follow that. Any scheme that is being offered by the Government of India or Government of Odisha, my appeal to all the universities, please adopt some of the villages and some of the areas and see that those schemes are being implemented in those areas 100%. When Janadhan account was announced, one university in Andhra, that is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University, Srikakulam, they invited me for a program to explain about Janadhan scheme. The social work department of that particular university has approached the people motivated them, enlightened them, and opened 35,000 Janadhan accounts in their area. 35,000. Therefore, whatever welfare schemes and the developmental schemes, social security schemes, when the government is implementing for the citizens, I feel the elite section, the enlightened section, well-aware section, educated section, universities and colleges have a role to play and see those schemes are successful. But so far, no universities are concentrating on this activity. Therefore, in this West Asia war crisis, my suggestion to everybody, of course, Orissa government has withdrawn 2 days back that the interest-free loans given to acquire electric vehicles. But otherwise, they used to extend interest-free loans for acquiring, for changing their vehicle, petrol, diesel to electric vehicle. Okay, interest subsidy is not there also, we can think about it. It is the time to adopt EVs. It is the time to generate power on our own. Government is taking so many actions. As you are reading in the newspapers, government has set a target of blending ethanol and petrol to 20%. The target is to complete it by 2030. But Honorable Prime Minister last year told, no, 2030 is very far. E20 ethanol blending must be achieved by 2025. Country has achieved E20 blending of the program in petroleum products. Now the government of India is thinking about E85, E100. Okay, they are taking their own steps to see how the crude dependence can be reduced on the country. If we have to be self-sufficient and self-reliant, when we are talking about Vikasit Bharat or Vikasit Odisha, unless we are self-reliant on everything, we cannot become Vikasit Odisha or Vikasit Bharat. Similarly, Honorable Prime Minister says that you should reduce 20% or 10%, 10% of edible oil usage in your kitchens. Primarily, he says that obesity is becoming a problem. To reduce that, you should reduce 10% usage of edible oil in your kitchens. He is advocating to reduce the oil usage for our health. But he is also having an idea, keeping the health of the country also. Reducing oil usage in the kitchens is healthy for our economy, because we are importing edible oils into the country to the tune of 1,75,000 crores. Crude edible oil and pulses. Being agricultural country, can't we produce edible oil like sunflower seed, palm oil, or groundnut, or mustard? So many crops we can grow. India can really achieve self-sufficiency in edible oil. We are implementing a program called the Palm Oil Mission. I think Orissa is also actively taking up and encouraging the farmers to go for palm oil cultivation in all the districts. Orissa is contributing its might to produce more edible oil. Therefore, my appeal to all universities to think about the issues of the country, to think about the policy frameworks of the country by different ministries. What we can take up, I won't say that you should adopt 100% of all the schemes. It is not possible also. What is relevant for you? Today, I saw in the newspapers there is a critical mineral recycling scheme. They have identified about 58 companies how critical minerals can be recycled. About 36,000 crore scheme is being announced today. 58 companies are identified. Subsidies to be given. There is a quantum machine. Quantum mission, government is encouraging the universities to send their proposals for quantum algorithms. How we can motivate our students and staff for such type of activity. Therefore, my advice to all of you is not to confine yourselves to the curriculum prescribed for that particular course, but how the student power, student strength can be utilized to implement the government programs, schemes for the benefit of the public in and around us. This also should be our motive to devise the programs. I request you to consider that. As we move forward, it is essential that all stakeholders like government, academia, industry and society work together. That means how you can make society as a stakeholder into the universities. In a spirit of collaboration and shared responsibility. The success of NEP 2020 will depend not only on policy formulation, but on effective implementation at the grassroots level. Before I conclude, I would like to say that education is the most powerful tool for nation building. It shapes minds, builds character, and determines the destiny of a nation. Odisha, with its rich cultural heritage and progressive vision, is well poised to emerge as a leading hub of knowledge and innovation. Let us move forward with confidence, commitment, and a shared vision to build an education system that is inclusive, dynamic, and globally respected. Let us empower our youth to become not only skilled professionals, but also responsible citizens and visionary leaders. Together, let us strive to make India a true knowledge superpower. Thank you. Vande Utkala Janani. Jai.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your profound and inspiring address. We believe your words will resonate long after this workshop concludes, serving as a mandate for excellence. Thank you, sir, for your constant support in making Odisha a hub for quality higher education. Respected dignitaries on and off the dais, as we draw the curtains on the historic session, we must once again pay our respect to the nation. The spirit of Bande Mataram reminds us that our academic pursuits are ultimately for the service of motherland. I request everyone to rise, and I request the technical team to play the national anthem.
शुभ आशीष